The Caretaker. In Willow Creek, where the diner coffee was always hot and the church bells rang every Sunday, Eleanor Ellie Hawthorne was a saint. The townsfolk said so, their voices warm with pride as they watched her hurry through the crisp autumn air to the hospital, her nurse's scrubs faded but pristine. For 5 years, Ellie had poured her heart into caring for Daniel Weaver, the young mechanic who'd been comatose since a car accident stole his future. She read him poetry, played his old Johnny Cash records, and whispered stories of her day, believing, hoping, her love kept him tethered to life. At the annual town fair, they raised funds for his care, hanging banners that read Ellie's miracle. Pastor John called her a blessing. Mabel at the diner saved her a slice of pie each night. Daniel's mother, Clara, clung to her like a lifeline, sobbing gratitude into her shoulder. Ellie smiled through it all, her hazel eyes soft, her voice steady. "He's still in there," she'd say, adjusting the blanket over Daniel's still form in room 204. The room was a shrine to hope, get-well cards pinned to the walls, wilting flowers in vases, a radio humming low. But late at night, when the hospital quieted, Ellie would lean close to Daniel's ear, her breath warm against his skin. "You can't tell anyone, can you?" she whispered, her fingers lingering on the 4-line. Daniel was awake. Not in the way the doctors meant, with their charts and EEGs, but in a prison of flesh and bone. His mind burned with clarity, trapped behind eyes that wouldn't open, a tongue that wouldn't move. Locked-in syndrome, he'd later learn it was called, but for now, he was a ghost in his own body, hearing every word, feeling every touch. He heard Ellie's stories, her gentle lies to the town, her late-night confessions. 5 years ago, he'd been driving home from the garage, his pickup rattling along Route 17, when he saw her car swerve. A thud, a scream cut short, and Ellie's sedan speeding into the night. A man lay dead on the road, Henry Tate, a drifter no one missed. Daniel had pulled over, heart pounding, intending to call for help. Then the truck hit him from behind, a drunk driver who fled too. Daniel's world went black. Now, he lay in room 204, piecing it together. Ellie had been drunk that night, her breath sour with whiskey when she checked his chart. She'd framed the hit and run as an accident, pinning it on the unknown driver who hit Daniel. But she knew he'd seen her. And now, the subtle sting of her needle, too frequent, too precise, kept him silent, his body a cage she locked tighter with every dose. Maya Torres arrived in Willow Creek with a backpack and a need to start over. At 22, she was running from a broken home, volunteering at the hospital to fill the hours. Ellie took her under her wing, showing her how to change 4 bags, her smile warm but her eyes sharp. "Daniel's special," Ellie told her, gesturing to the pale man in room 204. "He needs us." Maya nodded, awed by Ellie's devotion. She started talking to Daniel during her shifts, sharing stories of her childhood in Chicago, her dreams of being a writer. She didn't expect a response, but it felt right. One day, as she adjusted his pillow, Daniel's finger twitched. Maya froze, her heart racing. "Daniel?" she whispered. "Nothing." She shook it off, but the next day, it happened again, a deliberate curl of his index finger. She scoured the internet on her phone, finding articles on locked-in syndrome. Patients could be aware, trapped, communicating through blinks or twitches. She watched Ellie more closely, noticing how she hovered over Daniel's meds, dismissing Maya's offer to help. "I've got it, sweetheart," Ellie said, her tone too sweet, her hand lingering on the syringe. Ellie felt the walls closing in. The town was planning a Miracle for Daniel event, a fundraiser to bring in a specialist from Boston. Pastor John had announced it at church, and Clara was already knitting a scarf for the doctor. Ellie's stomach churned. A specialist would see through her, Daniel's vitals were too stable for a true coma. She upped his dose of midazolam, her hands shaking as she pushed the syringe. "Just a little longer," she muttered, glancing at his closed eyes. She told herself she wasn't a monster. She'd only meant to scare Henry Tate that night, not kill him. She'd been young, scared, drunk on cheap whiskey after a fight with her ex. Daniel was collateral damage, a witness she couldn't let wake up. But the town's love, their adoration, it was her salvation. She couldn't lose it. Maya was the problem. The girl was too curious, lingering in Daniel's room, watching her like she knew something. Ellie started rumors at the diner, subtle ones. Maya was unreliable, an outsider with a troubled past. Mabel nodded, serving Ellie her pie. Poor thing, probably means well, she said. Ellie smiled, but her mind raced. She needed a plan. Daniel heard it all. Maya's stories were a lifeline, her voice pulling him from despair. When she whispered, "Can you hear me?" he summoned every ounce of strength, curling his finger. She gasped, and hope flared in him, sharp and painful. He tried to blink, to signal, but his body betrayed him. Then he heard Ellie's voice, low and venomous, "You're not waking up, Daniel. Not now, not ever." The needle stung, and his thoughts blurred, but he clung to Maya's promise, "I'll figure this out, Daniel. I swear." Maya started carrying a notebook, jotting down every oddity, Ellie's insistence on handling Daniel's meds, the locked cabinet in her office, the way she flinched when Maya mentioned locked-in syndrome. At the library, Maya dug through old newspapers, finding a clipping about Henry Tate's hit-and-run. The article mentioned a witness, Daniel, struck in a separate crash the same night. Too convenient. She hid her phone in Daniel's room, recording Ellie's late-night visits. One night, it caught her, "I'm sorry, Daniel. I didn't mean for Henry to die. But you saw me. I can't let you ruin this." The Miracle for Daniel event was in full swing, the town square lit with lanterns, a banner fluttering above the crowd. Ellie stood on the makeshift stage, thanking everyone, her voice cracking with practiced emotion. Maya slipped into the hospital, heart pounding. She checked Daniel's chart, midazolam levels far too high for a coma patient. She confronted him softly, "Blink if you can hear me, Daniel." One slow, deliberate blink. Then another. Tears stung her eyes. "I'm getting you out of this." Ellie returned early, catching Maya by Daniel's bed. "What are you doing?" she snapped, her saintly mask slipping. Maya held up her phone, the recording playing Ellie's confession. "It's over, Ellie." Ellie's face twisted, and she lunged, locking the door. "You don't understand," she hissed, grabbing a syringe. "He'll ruin me. They all will." She moved toward Daniel, but Maya tackled her, the syringe clattering to the floor. In the chaos, Maya's phone, still streaming to her social media, broadcast everything to the town's livestream of the fundraiser. Pastor John's face paled as Ellie's voice echoed through the square, "I didn't mean for Henry to die." Clara collapsed, sobbing. The crowd turned, stunned, as police sirens wailed. Ellie was arrested that night, her saintly image shattered. Daniel began physical therapy, his first words halting but clear, "She killed Henry." Willow Creek reeled, their trust in Ellie replaced by shame. Maya stayed by Daniel's side, her notebook now filled with his story, not hers. She'd come to Willow Creek to escape, but she'd found a purpose, giving voice to the silent. As Daniel blinked into the sunlight streaming through room 204's window, he felt the weight of his body lighten, just a little. Ellie's whispers were gone, replaced by Maya's quiet promise, "You're free now."